Yeah, the numbers were fine. Earnings were fine. It's just earnings growth. And that is the storyline that you and Mark and Matt or myself talked about on the podcast the other day is that slowing global growth. If EPS numbers do come down, is it going to eventually affect the market?
Can you just talk about that for just a moment? Because I think it's a very, very important discussion. It goes into that overall theme that we've been seeing, or the narrative we've been seeing in 2019 of slowing global economic growth. And so now what we're seeing is depressing earnings, and some people might not exactly know what that means. So can you kind of take a moment to explain that?
Sure. Every company has revenue and earnings expectations. We measure it in a lot of different ways. One of them is through EPS. And when they come out and give us the number, it's like their report card. How much money did you make? Now, it's only one component of the report card, but Google has been growing their earnings over time. In 2013, they had 55 billion in sales, 2014, 66 billion, 2015, 75 billion, 16, 90 billion, 17, 110 billion, and 18, they finished up the quarter just now, and the overall net revenue was up. Their EPS trends, Matt, they went from 19 EPS in 13 to 20 to 23 to 28 to 32. So the company essentially is making more money over time. They're doing everything that you would want to see from a fundamental balance sheet perspective, but the expectation was higher. It's kind of like in the football game the other day. The Patriots won, but it wasn't a great game, right? Still got to give them the victory. They still made a lot. They get the championship, they get the title. Google actually had a great quarter. They made the money. The actual earnings and profit was there, but the
Well,
line was higher on just one component, not all.
technically the Pats beat the line.
Right.
Yeah, but the analogy holds. Let's say the Pats are playing the Dolphins, right? And the line is Pats minus 16 because that's how bad the Dolphins are. And so the Patriots are expected to win, but if they only win by 3, they don't win the bettor's money, right? And so Google's expected to do really, really good. Facebook's expected to do really, really, really good. Microsoft, Apple, Google, all of these companies are priced to do really, really well. When you're looking at Google's PE ratio right now at 27 versus a 5-year average at 30, those expectations have came down just a tiny bit, but you're still priced to, I wouldn't say Google's priced for perfection like a Facebook or, an Amazon or something like that, but you're still priced to do really, really good. So when you come in at 21.5% year over year increase in revenue, that is a good number. When you come in at 12.77, that's a good number. 39.3, that's a good number, Tim. In my estimation, Google beat.
I agree. They came in at 31% EPS, Matt.
Yeah, they covered the line. So, yeah. I think it's a slight overreaction to a little bit of capital expenditure. And quite frankly, Tim, probably the most likely scenario was there's a couple hedge funds or institutions that were just reallocating money into a different area of the market, and they used earnings as an opportunity to get out of it.
It could also just be a tired market. The S&P is up approaching new resistance zones, and maybe the market doesn't want to break and run. And Google's earnings and information weren't good enough to propel buyers to come in and buy them at higher prices. I'm with you. Probably institutions.
Spoiled little brats. Seriously, all they ever want is free money. Google's report it wasn't Facebook's report, but in my estimation, Google's report was better than Amazon. And Tim, in my estimation, it was also better than Apple's report. And we saw what happened with Apple on the report. Not only did they start running and break out of that 160, they triggered above that 170 and currently sitting at 173. And it just continues to want to fade up into that 180 to 182. So I took Google's earnings report better than its counterparts. Maybe Facebook was better. I know Facebook's was better than Google, but I see it as a positive report, muted market response, and that's going to give us an opportunity above that 1143 by 1150 level if it does break.